All right, welcome on in to another episode, the first episode of the week of, it's DCU Daily and Also Curious, but we do have some Marvel news to get into, a lot of Thunderbolts, or as they're now known, well, it's out there in the world. It's not a spoiler anymore, the new Avengers. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We have to talk about the record that Lady Gaga broke over the weekend, a Madonna record. So we have to get into that. Of course, Skype is dead. That happened. It's not a surprise if you've been following that story, though. It's been a long time coming. We do have to talk about, of course, there's a couple of new trailers out today. Spike Lee joint, a new Spike Lee joint, Highest to Lowest with Denzel Washington, A$AP Rocky, and then the Together trailer, which they actually put out on CinemaCon. So if you were at CinemaCon, you would have already seen the trailer. Now it's available online for everybody else to see. It's got Alison Brie and Dave Franco in there. So we're going to discuss those two trailers. And of course, we have a ton of new news from DC from over the weekend. Lanterns filming updates. We have got some news updates regarding Peacemaker. Ben Affleck may not have entirely closed the door to coming back as Batman. Of course, there's hints all over the place for both James Gunn and David Cornsweet as to when we may get the new Superman trailer. So we will talk about that as well. And of course, we have some cute Ozu/Krypto video that James Gunn shared, as well as the photo that he shared of himself being, when they were filming in Svalbard for the Superman. So we have that, and of course Sean Gunn, confirming that he's in the DCU. So we'll talk about that and so much more. Let's hit that news intro and get the show started.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Corns.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the world needs now.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, well, it's time to get the show going, and we've got a ton to talk about today. Of course, Monday shows are always busy, so today is the same, but we're going to try to do it in a way that is expeditious and yet packed full of information and opinions and maybe a few rants along the way. So to do that and so much more, I've got John with me. How are you doing today?
Things could be a hell of a lot fucking better. My PC build just refuses to work for me. It's like Murphy's Law, but I'm going to make it work. It's just another hurdle I have to jump over. So just got to fix that up, and hopefully I can get this thing working by the end of the week, but we'll see. But, oh, you're muted.
Sorry, my bad. I was gonna say I just saw a James Gunn reel, and he apparently just sent out this news that Creature Commandos, the first season, is now also streaming on YouTube. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, breaking news. If you don't have Max, you can now watch it on YouTube right here. I mean, don't turn off it just yet. We've got a bunch of news for you, and then after that you can go watch Creature Commandos on YouTube. But John, the first thing we have to talk about is a little bit of Marvel stuff, because of course the big movie of the weekend was Thunderbolts with an asterisk, and we now know why the asterisk, because they unveiled the new title, which is it does actually spoil the ending of the movie because it's part of what comes out of the post-credit scene. But I guess Marvel decided that at this point anybody and everybody has seen the movie that they want, or the most of the people who wanted to go see it so badly they did, and therefore there's no point in hiding it. They want to embrace it rather, and to be fair, it doesn't affect the plot of the movie so much as it's connected to what happens at the very end, and not even the end of the movie is really a post-credit scene. So it does spoil a little bit of that, so I apologize if you haven't seen the movie, but at this point, if you're on the internet, then I'm not sorry.
I understand.
So,
with that, I kind of get it. Like, as you just said, like the internet, I get that. But like, I still feel kind of bad for people that like want to see this. Maybe this is kind of like a fuck you to the streaming people. Like, oh, you're gonna wait till streaming? Fine, we're gonna reveal this thing about the movie. Which, like, I kind of get that, but at the same time, there are people that are just busy and haven't like we're gonna go to the theater and we're gonna eventually watch it, and then now they're like, well, now I feel like there's no point because I have this thing spoiled for me. I get it; it's an interesting publicity stunt, and they're trying to do something new with this, trying to do something interesting. But I feel like it kind of falls flat a little bit, and I don't know if it works 100%.
Well, there is a comment from the director we'll get into in a little bit because it kind of leans into what you're talking about, because it seems like based on what the director said, this wasn't necessarily the plan all along, but they kind of just went for it, and Kevin Feige obviously was supportive of it. In fact, he might have even egged them on, like, yeah, let's do it. But anyway, the box office, we're going to start there. Then we have a bunch of other things to talk about. Of course, the name is the big thing. But John, it debuted at $74 million domestic, and then when you look at the worldwide numbers, it started off at 162 million plus. There's a little bit of change there after the 160, so roughly 163 million, a little under half of that from the North American domestic box office. That number actually comes in behind what Captain America 4 did, which we will get into in a little bit as well. But what are your thoughts on the box office opening weekend for this movie? This movie is, just to remind you, it's certified fresh with the critics, and the popcorn meter is hot, meaning like it's got a scores on, as far as I can tell from the last time I checked earlier today, the Rotten Tomatoes score of the critics was still in the high 80s and the audiences was in the 90s. So, and the cinema score for this was an A-.
94, 93 last time I checked.
Something like that. Yeah, and then
meter.
The cinema score we talk about, A-, which is one of the highest that an MC movie has gotten in quite some time. So, what are your thoughts on the start that the movie had, and obviously all the marketing? Marvel's now really kicking the marketing into gear in a way that a lot of movies don't get after the movie's already come out. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
I think it's definitely really cool. I mean, I'm going to be, as the horror guy and as a guy who pushes for more original films, I love seeing Sinners getting, like, still having a hold. Minecraft, is a win for Warner Brothers, so maybe that's something, I guess. But Thunderbolts, I mean, I'll probably, at this point, this is like something I actually believe, because like my friends have been like, so like, this is actually a really good movie. So I'm curious enough about it. So like now I'm curious.
Hello.
Now I'm curious.
Hello.
So the people, like, even my friend who fucking hates the MCU is like, it was okay. That's probably the highest praise we're gonna get from him. So, maybe I'll catch it on streaming, but like, we'll see. But I'm happy for Sinners.
Yes.
Not really happy about Minecraft because,
dude, that movie's gonna race to $1 billion. We know that. Like, that's
yeah, we know that.
It's happening at this point. Just some geeky guy with a super chat there, saying if James Gunn ever adapts, whoa, okay, that's the other one. Sorry, I'm confusing we'll get to that one in the DC Daily portion of the show. The other super chat that I wanted to mention right now is, after seeing Thunderbolts' box office performance, Kevin Feige should be reminded that Ant-Man is the one that should be shrinking, not the box office numbers. I think we agree with you. I mean, the last Ant-Man movie wasn't great, not Paul Rudd or any the cast's fault, but yeah, Thunderbolts box office is not the best thing that we have seen, like, from Marvel. I just mentioned the fact that it's not even better than Captain America: Brave New World, but it's overall the fact that it's got such positive word of mouth, this movie could have legs. Like, Captain America 4 didn't even make, if I remember correctly, $500 million at the worldwide box office, and it started off with more than this movie has. So the key metric now is going to be, can it get there? Can it cross 500? Like, Marvel movies used to cross 500 million in their sleep. What happened? But like, yeah, Minecraft is probably going to get to $1 billion in its sleep, as it's already at 900 million. It's been in the movie theaters for like a month. Sinners, as you mentioned, John, that actually came in at roughly, let's see, I think it was, the last time I checked, it was $30 million. So it's only a 27% drop from his previous weekend, which is insane. This movie just keeps making money. But there was an interesting caveat to that, because a lot of the money that Sinners is making is domestically. Like, the vast majority of his box office is from North America. It's not resonating nearly as well with audiences abroad, which I guess the subject matter of it all does have something to say about, maybe that's what results in the performance that it is having domestically versus abroad. Just some geeky guys in the chat, of course, as I mentioned. We have got Elite Easy watching. The right dude is here as well. And thank you so much for all the super chats, Just some geeky guy. Of course, guys, if you want to support the channel, you're more than welcome to drop in a super chat. We more than appreciate it. It literally pays John's salary. But just some geeky guy with the other super chat saying, after seeing Minecraft nearing $1 billion, we need a Children of Men style infertility apocalypse because I'm not convinced children are a curse. I hope that you're being facetious, but hey, you know what? To each their own, right? It's like the kids who loved growing up playing Minecraft.
I mean, and to be
now
fair,
have a movie to celebrate it.
Here's the thing: it's not the children that are the problem. It's the fucking like high schoolers and college students that are like trashing theaters and bringing chickens into the theater. It's not the kids' fault. It's their fault for acting like it. I blame them.
They're not there because they enjoy the movie. They just want to like do crazy shenanigans because I don't know, like their senior year prank was banned or something, and they want to get that out in the movie theater. I'm like, you don't need to do that. Go and enjoy the movie. If you want to chant chicken jockey when that moment comes up, that's fine, but you don't need to like
go to the block party edition.
Bucket. Yeah, go to the block party. That's exactly. The Warner Brothers is letting you do that. There's the expectation in that movie theater is going to be people are going to be throwing shit in the air. So if you walk into that movie theater and get angry because somebody was screaming behind you, then you're in the wrong movie theater. But otherwise, respect, the people around you and the experience that they're trying to have watching the movie. But we, of course, have a few other things to talk about regarding Thunderbolts, John. So, as I mentioned earlier, Thunderbolts debuted to roughly 76 million. I think then the final number is 76 million from this morning on Monday. And overall, it got a little over 162 million worldwide. As I mentioned, that's roughly 10 plus million behind Captain America 4. 88.8 million is what that movie did domestically, and it opened up to overall 192.4 million worldwide. Do you think that's because it's Captain America? Like there's been 3 Captain America movies before, so even though obviously Anthony Mackie playing Captain America is not the same as Chris Evans playing Captain America, do you think the Captain America brand is what allowed, and obviously Red Hulk, Harrison Ford, there's other factors like Giancarlo Esposito, do you think all of that played into Cap for having a higher opening weekend box office? Because considering, I mean, Thunderbolts by comparison, you have a lot of B tier characters. Of course, you have Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier, but you don't have, an Iron Man or a Captain America or a Black Panther in that movie. Do you think that
technically,
was the reason?
We do have 2, as you said, do have 2 Captain Americas. But
I
mean,
like one of them was in a movie that came out in the pandemic.
Well, actually, technically, we have 3. So, oh yeah, I forgot. You said 3. I was like 3. Oh yeah, including it. No, technically, in all of this, we have 4 Captain Americas. The Russian one, the one that's a straw man, Bucky, and the black one. Cool. 4 Captain Americas, guys. Just what we needed. Anyway.
But like the point being, I think I for one think it's because there are 3 other Captain America movies. There's a lot of people out there who don't follow the MCU like the way that we do. You probably walked in thinking it's another Captain America movie, and that probably helped get it that much more money. Like I guess around 12 million more than what Thunderbolts did. But again, I mentioned earlier, the key metric here is going to be how does it do moving forward. TC24 was asking a question in the chat saying, hey, what do you think the second weekend drop is going to be on this movie? And I think, John, this movie, even though it's got great reviews and everything, it's probably going to get like a 50% drop, which a 50% drop is great. Like, let's not be spoiled by what Sinners is doing. What Sinners is doing is unprecedented, but I think a 50% drop from Marvel, like if this movie makes like somewhere around 30 to 40 million in the second weekend, would be amazing. Because that's great. Like that for a movie that the opening up to the kind of numbers that it did would be fantastic. Because remember, Sinners opened to like 40 something and it just kept making that money every week. So whereas this is opening closer to 100 million. So I'd expect the drop to be a little bit higher. But yeah, I mean, hey, the movie's doing well. But the big news was, of course, that they've got that post-credit scene, which Josh Horowitz on his Happy Sad Confused podcast is asked, recently he was interviewing Louis Pullman about it. And he was like, hey, when did you guys shoot that end credit scene? And he was like, we kind of like the Russo brothers directed it. I actually had to fly from Vancouver for a weekend into London to shoot this thing. So technically it's a part of Doomsday. So my question to you, John, at the end of the movie, that whole scene with the new Avengers, and spoiler alert, there's Fantastic Four shows up, like at least their ship that they're in, the rocket ship. Lois Pullman makes it sound like that's all part of, like, this sequence is gonna either bleed into Avengers Doomsday or is a part. What do you think? Do you think it's what he means
yeah? Well, considering how long it is, the last time we had like a really long post-credit scene, from what I remember, was I remember somebody talking about this. I don't know if it was here or someplace else, but they were talking about how like the last time we had a long post-credit scene was when it was cut from a movie. It might have been Infinity War, it might have been something else, I don't remember, but it was literally a clip from a movie, and we saw it again in the movie. So that's what I'm thinking here. Like I think that we are going to be getting this scene again in Doomsday, because the Russo brothers directed it, as the director Schreier, I don't remember his name, Jake Schreier or something like that.
He said he was there, but he did not direct it.
He was there, but he was not. He probably just overlooking. And so my thing is, it's probably going to be in the movie.
Yeah,
sorry, got a lot of headspace today.
I wouldn't be surprised. And wow, in that case, I mean, that's great. That's Marvel really pushing it out there that, you know what, we're building towards something now, finally, after being sort of like this greater story of the MCU has been adrift for a few years. But hey, we mentioned these photos the other day, and all of these cast members who are in the UK right now, including Robert Downey Jr., they all went and saw the new Avengers, and they're all doing like the T symbol with their hands. And some of the reviews from the cast of the Avengers Doomsday was like, hey, Thunderbolts is so cool, fresh, and deep. Your thoughts on what RDJ and the crew had to say? Channing Tatum and all, Simu Liu, Anthony Mackie. I think that this was their review of Thunderbolts, essentially.
So cool, fresh, deep. All right, this just sounds like PR speak. A little bit, like
so cool, fresh, and deep. Those words.
It's like oh, Tom Cruise reviewing The Flash. It's like, why? It's like, all right.
I can just make a poster of any image, and like where you have the photo, but everything else is black, and then you have white text. You could just do so cool, fresh, and deep, and you can literally put anything in the image. That's the vibe that I get from that. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, considering it's the cast of the movie. Well, the next big Marvel movie. But John, there were a couple of other interesting things. So Wyatt Russell and Sebastian Stan were being interviewed by Mark Ellis on Fandango, and apparently in that last post-credit sequence, because there are two in the movie, they were gonna do something where Sebastian Stan hasn't seen the movie yet, apparently. So he's like, remember we did this bit where it was like, they're looking at the ship, the Fantastic Four ship, and it has a big 4 on it, and apparently Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier was gonna say, "What's with the 4?" Or like what's is it for? And then Wyatt Russell's character is gonna be like, do you mean like for the number, or like what is it about for? Like it was all sorts of.
That sounds like a shitty Marvel thing. That sounds like a shitty Marvel dialogue sequence. Oh, what is it for? You mean 4 or 4? That sounds like typical crappy, horrible, cringy Marvel dialogue. So I'm glad they cut that.
I don't know if it would give me a laugh walking out of the movie theater. It's like
that sounds just terrible. I'm glad they fucking got rid of that, because that sounds fucking.
I'm sure they thought the same thing. They're like, oh man, we're gonna totally ruin the vibe of this movie. We also have Ron in the chat now. Kevin Davis is here. Kevin Davis saying some folks waiting for Thunderbolts and Captain America Brave New World to go to Disney Plus. Well, you know what? If you were, then now you've had the end of the movie spoiled, because Marvel was like, F you, you should have seen the movie in theaters. We're going to talk about the end of the film as part of the marketing campaign. Speaking of which, John, the executive producer for the movie, Brian Chapek, was on the red carpet for this movie, and he seemingly confirmed that Mel, played by Geraldine Viswanathan, is going to potentially be Songbird in the MCU. Remember we brought this up a little while ago, because that was like a theory that people were talking about, and she plays Allegra de Fontaine, the whole Valentina Allegra basically Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character's assistant in the movie, and her name, is sort of the same alter ego name for the character of Songbird in the comics. And it seems like the producer of the movie is saying, yeah, it looks like maybe that's where they're headed. Would you be surprised to see that that's why they cast the actress that they did for that role? Because, yeah, Geraldine is like one of the rising stars in Hollywood right now. And for her to be brought in for a role like that, you got to imagine that.
And same with Ayoade Berry, who was going to play the role before she had scheduling conflicts with, I think, the Bear. Yes. So it makes sense. I know she's been in a couple big movies. Because I mean, she was in a Coen movie, not Coen Brothers, just one Coen. It's a terrible one, but it's something, I guess. And I know she was in was she in Miracle Workers as well? She's been in a bunch of stuff. So I think that makes sense. And I mean, might as well make it that character. So technically she's the only character that's related to the actual Thunderbolts. Like, hello. So yeah, I could see them kind of doing that. But yeah, cool, good for her.
Yeah, I also saw this on Marvel on Marvel Twitter, I guess you want to call it that. One of the accounts showing like how they've kind of repainted all those cereal box posters everywhere with the new Avengers logo, which is it just goes along with all the marketing now. So if you guys again didn't go to see the movie, then you kind of got spoiled. But it is what it doesn't affect the enjoyment of the film itself. And Jake Schreier said they shot it like 4 weeks ago. He did not direct it. And then he was kind of talking a little bit about that, hey, they were just kind of hoping that people kind of caught on with this, that maybe this was one of the theories that people, were thinking about, like, oh, is this an Avengers movie in disguise? He was also saying it didn't quite catch on, like that theory wasn't the prevailing theories leading up to the movie, but, he's like, we just took the risk and Kevin Feige was on board with it, so we just went ahead and did it. So now the cat's out of the bag, so it's too late to go backwards. We know what the asterisk was for. So as I was talking about, John, everywhere, like this is the another billboard where they're literally painting over it, so that's now rampant. So if I don't know if you guys want to hide under a rock, there's no way to avoid this. It's out there. I know, Ron, you just went and saw the movie Thunderbolts. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments, or if you want to.
So is it gonna still technically still be called the Thunderbolts, or is it
that's my thing, because I'm like, the tickers at the movie theater still say Thunderbolts. So unless Marvel's gonna change, I don't know. Maybe I'll go see it later this week and see like if that's gonna change. That is actually a really good question. Honestly, I don't know.
Because like I feel like it would be kind of an interesting thing. It would be funny, especially for the people that hadn't seen it yet, if like they go into the movie and it's like called Thunderbolts, but like they ship them a new version and now it's with the new Avengers logo, and then where they're like, what the fuck is this? This is supposed to be Thunderbolts, and then it makes no sense until the last like 10 minutes of the movie. That would be kind of funny. That would be a good prank. But I don't know how they're gonna make this work, but cool, yeah. I guess. We'll see.
It's weird because I don't know if this kind of thing has ever been really done before, where the movie comes out and then, because obviously they're putting money behind this, right? Like doing all of this work is not free. Like having the cast do all these appearances and then do all these additional things. I mean, after the movie is out, and then for them to do all the billboards over again, because it's not only like stuff in the US, dude. You go to Argentina, Los Nuevos Avengers, they've crossed out the Thunderbolts. It's everywhere. Like it's a worldwide effort. So this is costing Marvel a pretty penny. So clearly they must be hoping that, like, they must think this is worth it, because I don't know. Why else would you go and change all the marketing materials? Maybe they hope that this is going to give it a bit of a boost, because that's for later. But they might be hoping that this is going to end up giving the movie a better chance at the second weekend, because then people are like, oh, I was not going to watch this because I'm waiting for the next Avengers movie, but then all of a sudden you're like, this is an Avengers movie, so I need to go check it out now. Do you think that's what this is about, potentially?
Possibly. I think that would be understandable from a marketing point of view. Oh, Avengers, I know that thing. Go see it. I could see that.
Yeah. I hope that if Marvel is putting all this money behind this effort, then that results in some kind of return for them, because otherwise it's money not well spent. JB's like, re-release it as the new Avengers. See, that's a good question. Imagine 20 years from now, are they going to re-release it as Thunderbolts / the new Avengers, or, you know, like what they did with Harley Quinn in this incredibly long, well, no, Birds of Prey, or the blah 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 of Harley Quinn. You know, or like Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow, whatever. They had 5 different names for that movie, because you could easily turn it into a whole marketing debacle. So, and yes, Elite Easy, we do have Superman news. We're getting to it, so we are gonna move on past that in a second. But John, my question to you, since your friends like it, since you're intrigued, are you gonna see it? Are you gonna go see it now?
Not at a theater. God no. I'll maybe see it when it hits Disney Plus. I mean, I already have it spoiled for me, so I don't really care.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I want to see it in a movie theater because it was filmed in IMAX for IMAX. So not like with the cameras that Christopher Nolan uses, but still, it was filmed for IMAX. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing, guys. But before we do, let us know in the comments below what you thought about the new title change for Thunderbolts to the new Avengers. We'd love to hear from you, and then we'll bring that comment into the Q&A session as we do at the end of the week. So right now, John, we have to talk about a couple of trailers before we get into the DC news. A new Spike Lee joint is about to hit the movie theaters, highest to lowest. We have talked about this before. Denzel Washington leading the way. It's based on a Kurosawa movie that's being essentially, it's a remake of one. And A$AP Rocky's playing Denzel's son in the movie, which still blows my mind why we needed A$AP Rocky for Denzel's son when he has a perfectly great son who also is an actor anyway. But you saw the trailer. What are your thoughts about it? This is an Apple original film. It's being released by A24, but I assume that it's going to eventually end up on Apple TV Plus. But it's releasing in movie theaters before it gets there. So what did you think about the trailer?
I mean, it was like a perfectly fine trailer, but I have absolutely no fucking hope for it whatsoever, because the last 2 movies that the last 2 remakes he did sucked. So I've seen bits and pieces from Oldboy, and it was fucking terrible, and they tried to like out twist the twist because everyone knew the famous twist from Oldboy. So they were like, oh, we're gonna out twist the twist, and then we do the twist anyway. So it's like out twisting the twist's twist by doing the twist. It's like, it was fucking stupid. And then I wasn't even aware he did another remake, and then my friend told me, he's like, yeah, he did a remake of Ganja and Hess, and apparently that was really fucking bad. It was like the Blood of Jesus or something like that, some stupid ass fucking title. So like now it's like, okay, you're remaking a you remade a legendary Korean fucking action flick, and it sucked. You remade an avant-garde vampire film, it sucked. Now you're trying to remake a movie by one of the greatest directors who's ever lived, and after your other 2 remakes failed. I have absolutely no fucking hope for this. I'm probably not even gonna fucking see it, because I'm just gonna watch. I have the original. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna just watch that because I know it's gonna be a million times better than this. Now, I'm not to shit on Spike Lee, because I think he's a fucking amazing director. But like, when bro remakes shit, like, no, just stick to original projects. Black Klansman was amazing. That probably should have won that year instead of fucking Green Book. But like, yeah, it just, I don't know why he's fucking doing. And then he's like, make highest to lowest. It's a remake, even though it has a 2 in it, because that makes sense. So I've seen his Oldboy. Like, I saw most of it. I didn't finish it because it was terrible, but I watched most of it. But I did not see the other one, the remake of Ganja and Hess. So I don't know. That could be the fucking greatest thing since sliced bread, and I'm just blowing smoke. But a friend I trust who has an opinion similar to mine said it was terrible, so I trust him. But fine, I'm an asshole then. I've been an asshole all fucking day, so add it to the fucking list, I guess. So whatever. I don't give a flying fuck. But at the end of the day, this is still fucking stupid. Just make your own movies. It's not like this is a new director. It's not like it's like the Thing remake where it was like this fucking nobody did this. Well, it was a prequel remake, whatever. And it's just like, or the fucking like Nightmare on Elm Street remake, where it's just some guy. This is Spike fucking Lee, man. Like one of the fucking greatest contemporary directors. And you're fucking remaking another legendary. Like, why? I don't understand why he's doing this.
Look, honest. Like, here's the thing. I, for one, as somebody who has not seen Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, I thought the trailer looked interesting. I don't know enough. So again, without having any prior knowledge, I would turn this movie on and give it a shot. But guys, let us know in the comments if you would do the same, or if you're more, in line with what John is saying, and this is not a movie that needed to be made. We'd love to hear from you about that. But John, there is another movie that put our trailer out today, and well, it's got it debuted to like 100% Rotten Tomatoes score. And right now this is they're married in real life, right? Or Alison Brie and Dave Franco. Am I correct about that? Somebody tells me that. But anyway, the Together trailer. Alison Brie and Dave Franco, real life couple, take codependency to a new level in neon body horror. I want to get your opinion on this because I know you're a big horror fan. I watched the trailer. It creeped the F out of me. So I had my fair share. I'm like, okay, going to see this in a movie theater. This better be like watching it during the day kind of a movie. But what were your thoughts, John?
I'm stoked for this. I'm the horror guy. I love body horror. I don't think I've seen a Michael Shanks movie. I would have to look it up. But I do like Alison Brie, and I think she's done a lot of like she doesn't shy away from weird indie stuff. Like, I remember she did that movie Horse Girl like fucking years ago. That was like this bonkers ass fucking movie where she thought, well, it's never really stated, but she thinks she was like kidnapped, like abducted by aliens, and then she like fucking goes crazy. So it's like Alison Brie is no stranger to weird stuff. Dave Franco can kind of do sometimes weird stuff, not as much as Alison Brie, but I will say this looks great. Like, I'm so excited for this. Like, body horror seems to be making a comeback. I'm really excited about that. I think this, because it feels like there's more to it than just, oh, look at the weird body horror stuff that I feel like a lot of other directors like fall into those traps. This is really about like the idea of like a relationship that is falling apart, and then they become, through some entity, start to become one. And I think that's a fucking amazing and innately interesting concept. And it could also be like maybe a commentary on like the like contemporary dating and relationships, where it's about like how like a lot of people have done like studies on this, where like modern relationships feel less real than older relationships because it's like just societal and the internet and all this other shit. So there's a like that could be an element as well, where maybe it's not actually a bad relationship, it could be something more. But whatever it is, I'm excited for it. I think I think Michael Shanks hasn't really done anything major. Like, he did like a couple like short films, and then that's kind of it. So this is his first major feature, so I'm really stoked for it. I think this will be, and he's also the writer as well. I didn't expect it to be as much of a have a comedy aspect to it, but especially at the end, I'm like, wait, is this supposed to be a horror comedy? Which I'm cool with. Like, both of them have done, like, Dave Franco and Alison Brie have done comedy before, so it wouldn't be totally lost. But whatever it is, I'm happy with it. I'm so, the substance was phenomenal. So, and David Cronenberg just released The Shrouds. I fucking can't see it because it's not at my theater, and I'm pissed. But I'm stoked for it. I'm just gonna say, let me not filibuster too long. I am very happy about this, and I think this is going to be another win for horror this year because we've had a lot of great horror movies coming out this year.
Yeah, this movie, oh my, some of the concepts also hit close to home for a lot of people. So it's the whole the idea of codependency being explored in like a horror format is crazy. This is giving me Jordan Peele vibes. Patrick Chow's in the chat saying, "Is this Michael Shanks from Stargate SG-1?"
No, different. No,
Michael
it's
Shanks.
it's a different Michael Shanks.
We did. I got confused the same way the last time we talked about this, but together, it's coming out later this year, July 30th. The trailer's out now. If you guys are a fan of the horror genre, even if you're not, I think this is one of those horror movies that it's.
I think it was supposed to come out later. I think it was supposed to come out later, but now it's coming out earlier, which I'm cool with.
They might have moved it up, yeah. Well, Neon, did a presentation at CinemaCon and go like, hey, we only have like some of the best, Oscar-winning movies.
We literally just won an Oscar.
So here you go. Here's the next one potentially. But anyway, now speaking of Oscar-winning movies, or even ones that don't win the Oscars, the next topic that we have to talk about is a little bit political, but like, hey, the only reason I bring it up in the show, we don't do politics on the show, but this affects movies so directly. So that's why I wanted to bring this up. I'm gonna go through like the basically the timeline of events that have unfolded in the past 24 hours. And then John, I'll let you kind of like chime in with what you think where this might go, what your opinion on this is.
Right.
But to kind of start things off, basically a while ago, John Voight, Sylvester Stallone, I think there was one other person that, the President Donald Trump of the United States had essentially brought in as consultants from Hollywood to kind of figure out how can we make Hollywood better. And then I guess, they've been doing their thing over the weekend. John Voight and his team, he's got a media company, met the president at his Mar-a-Lago resort, and they had some conversations. And then last night, I think it was last night, where basically the president tweeted saying, we're going to impose 100% tariffs on films that are produced overseas, which, the studios freaked the F out, rightfully so, because we talk about it all the time. Literally most movies today film all over the world, not only because they want to shoot on location, but also because there's tax incentives and it allows movies to be made on a budget that's affordable to studios. Even in a world where they're spending $200-300 million in a movie, it helps them save money. Like James Gunn shot part of Superman in Svalbard. We have seen Mission Impossible films, like most of it of the movie abroad, but they do have some stuff in the US occasionally. A lot of these franchises, like, the new 2 Avengers movies are both being filmed in the UK right now. So all of a sudden, if they put 100% tariff on those, which I don't even know how they would calculate it, these movies would cost twice as much, right? Like, that's, at least on the surface, that's what you would think of, because that's kind of what that would mean if you go off of how a tariff traditionally works. And then, of course, once this news broke, which was overnight in the US, there's producers everywhere freaking out, including one producer in the UK who was like, this is nuts. I mean, how do you even figure this out? This is going to completely disrupt and destroy the way the Hollywood system currently works, because it relies on production in Europe and in South America, and basically, not just the US, but in Canada, like, everywhere else.
Yeah, and it's not just like bro is going to single-handedly destroy Hollywood. And I know I've said like Hollywood needs to burn, but I feel like this isn't just going to make Hollywood burn. This is going to make the entire movie industry. This is going to make the entire entertainment industry burn to the point we might not have one anymore. And we're going to rely on European and Asian and Australian films, South American films.
I mean,
pretty much now, because this is going to kill the American film industry. Like 100%.
So if this does go through in the way that it was initially described, which again, like, you're going on Truth Social, the social media platform that Donald Trump, created or as champions, but DC Studios, to the question of JB, it's not that DC Studios is building permanent sets in the UK, but Leavesden Studios, if Warner Brothers Leavesden Studios, they're building out a whole new bunch of sound stages, and those sound stages are essentially meant to house a lot of DC productions alongside other studios that like to film there. Of course, Pinewood Studios is where Disney does a lot of their stuff, Star Wars, 007. So there's a lot of production that happens in the UK, and this obviously would affect that. So now, of course, as the day has gone by, things have evolved. So in the new statement, Donald Trump kind of pulled back a little bit, saying, I want to make sure they're happy, as in Hollywood is happy. I'm not looking to hurt them. I'm going to talk to the studio executives. But so far, we don't have any confirmation that there's been any contact made, that we're going to have those conversations. What we do know, of course, like I mentioned earlier, John Voight and his team submitted a plan over the weekend to the president saying, this is how we're going to make Hollywood great again. And at least that's what they said. Now, as of right now, it looks like
we're going to get movies made by John Voight and Mel Gibson. Great. Awesome.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
Right now, where things stand, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because, again, we get into politics, then things go sideways. But as of right now, as far from a news perspective, it looks like, the 100% tariffs was, again, this whole like over the top kind of a statement that usually kicks off a panic, and then things get walked back, and then they start working on something meaningful. Because honestly, how do you even classify a movie? Because if it's not a physical product, right? It's how do you even tariff something that's not what are you going to do? Tariff like the digital reels? Movies nowadays live on the servers at the studios, which then get downloaded from the cloud or just streamed directly to the movie theaters where the projectors are. So how, like, that's like, are you going to control the people's access to the internet, companies' access to the internet, and how that data is being transferred? Can you tariff that? Like, there's a lot of logistical issues around it, and obviously it looks like after freaking out Hollywood and Wall Street in the process, they're whatever they decide to do, we'll keep an eye out for it. We'll let you know where things end up. I wanted to bring this up because I think it's worth talking about, considering that it affects movies directly. Where we stand on this, obviously, I think John and I agree that this would be terrible for how Hollywood operates in general. And it's also going to, take away a lot of incentive for, international movie studios to come like film in the US, for example. Like they'll be like, well, you're not going to come film with us, and we're not going to spend money there. It's Hollywood is one of the greatest, exports of American culture all around the world, like it or not. But also, Hollywood movies aren't just movies about America. They're movies about the world. And anytime that an American studio like a Warner Brothers, like a Disney is involved, it's technically an American movie, even if the story is not about the American characters or American locations. So this just seems like, again, when all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail situation. This looks like the latest example of that. So hopefully things will get squared away. But wanted to bring this up because I thought this was worth a discussion, considering we don't want movies to die.
Yeah.
And this could do that potentially if they were to go through.
Well, I mean, maybe like television, because then there's also Vancouver. But like, to be fair, there is
Canada,
still a lot
right?
of television
So,
that is filmed here, but it's just like the super cheap stuff. Like if you have a show that takes place in New York, except for like maybe Law and Order, it's filmed in Vancouver. So yeah, you have all the stuff that's filming in Georgia and North Carolina. I mean, that would be safe. But yeah, this is just fucking stupid. But like, are you surprised? So
I am not surprised at all. But John, we do have to switch gears to some quick hits. And if you want to take us through those for a second, I'll be right back. But let's hit that music and let's dive into the funnier, or the more fun part of the show, as we like to do it. And we'll get through them pretty quickly, because that's what they are, quick hits, John. So take it away.
all right, here we go. So Lady Gaga draws record-breaking 2.5 million people to Brazil Beach for Mayhem concert. Cool, great for Lady Gaga. I'm not really a fan, but like, way to go, girl. You get them people to your concert. Yeah. So Paul McCartney's High in the Cloud gets powerhouse voice cast with Celine Dion, Himesh Patel, I didn't know he sang, Lionel Richie, Ringo Starr, Jimmy Fallon, and Idris Elba. Gaumont is producing the film and has already pre-sold High in the Clouds in major territories. Way to go, Sir Paul. Might as well rock film, pun intended, in addition to rock music. But yeah, great cast. Very exciting. I'm curious what this would be. I don't know if it's a documentary, an animated movie, or what, but I'm stoked for it if whatever it is. So you got my vote, Sir Paul. Let's go. on to the next thing. So apparently Sinners has earned more domestically in the past 17 days than the latest films in these franchises. Alien, Transformers, A Quiet Place, Indiana Jones, Fast and Furious, Hunger Games, Planet of the Apes, and Mission Impossible. Considering that most of those IPs kind of suck now, that's probably okay. I mean, Alien Romulus, I had no interest because I don't like Fede Alvarez. Transformers 1 was good, not great. Quiet Place, I loved day 1, so there's that, but the part 2 wasn't all that great. Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny was, let's not talk about that. Fast and Furious hasn't been good since 7. Hunger Games, I will say Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is quite good. Planet of the Apes Kingdom was great, and Final Reckoning looks great. But, you know, yeah, way to go, Sinners. So that's definitely very exciting for them. But still keeping on Sinners, they took in $33 million in its third weekend of release, down 28% from its prior outing. Now, if you remember, the first and second weekend was only down 6%. Now it's only down 28%. So we'll see how other movies fare in the coming weeks in regards to that. The film has grossed 181 million, not 1.81 million, 181 million domestically, and 57 million overseas for a grand total of 236 million worldwide to date. And I believe the budget was around 100 million. So that's pretty awesome. It might have been less. Actually, it might have been 80 million. So hell yeah. Fucking way to go, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, all y'all. We love and appreciate your movie. I might go see it again if I have the time. But yeah, that's fucking awesome. A deluge of material from the Marvel Cinematic Universe overwhelmed and eventually alienated viewers. It also stretched studio head Kevin Feige and his team's resources thin, diluting the quality of their output. Marvel's box office sales, streaming popularity, and formerly untouchable position in pop culture suffered. Now Feige is leading an internal overhaul aimed at getting the studio back on track. The first major test of his reset arrived this week with Thunderbolts, as we saw from the marketing and everything with that. I'm just going to say, I'll believe it when I see it. Moving on. With keeping on with Kevin Feige, reportedly told Marvel colleagues that watching every new MCU project had begun to feel more like homework than entertainment. Employees talk regularly about Marvel fatigue, not just superhero fatigue, Marvel fatigue, and worry they've created a no new fans club where new viewers have no clue what's going on. I'm just gonna say 3 words to that. No fucking shit. Congratulations, you figured it out. So we'll see if Kevin Feige will actually act upon this. As we saw previously, maybe, but again, as I said, I will believe it when I see it. Moving on. Still on the Marvel train, I guess this is MCU Quick Hit Weekly. I have had a meeting with Marvel. Yes, they literally sat down and said, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. What do you got for me? So we're having engagement, of course. Who would not want to be part of the MCU? Coleman Domingo, who previously emerged as a favorite candidate for Kang. So, I mean, that's awesome. Coleman Domingo as part of the MCU would be great. I don't think he should replace Kang. He's way too talented of an actor to have Jonathan Majors sloppy fucking seconds. So get him as Blade. Fuck it. If Herschel Ali is going to leave, get him as Blade. I'd love to see that as sort of like an old man Blade. But if you're going to have old man Blade, bring back Wesley Snipes. But whatever you have in mind, I'm here for it. So whatever, fucking make him Norman Osborn. Might as well. Like, he already rocked it on the animated show, so fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think what it comes down to is quality over quantity, and then people are not tired of superhero movies or TV shows. They're just tired of bad ones. And I think just the sheer number of things that Marvel has been putting out in that last few years, which they're changing course now. It's just, it takes a couple of years for that to reflect in their output, because everything that's coming out this year has been worked on in the last several years. But what they're doing now, we will start to see that in a few years from now, including obviously the new Avengers movies. So Kevin Feige trying to course correct. But hey, speaking of course correcting, this was funny. I thought this was one of the better clips I saw today. So Sebastian Stan walks up. Clearly, they've got like pieces of tape up there. So this is obviously like, you know, all set up for him to do this. But I still love the sentiment of like he goes there, he lines up the new poster. It's all right. It's no longer known as Thunderbolts. It's now gonna be the new Avengers. And I just appreciate that this man who does like 6 movies a year still has the time, or the work ethic, or both, to just go with this and do all of these things. Like he's doing interviews, he's doing press tours, he's out there in Hollywood, you know, in LA, just on walking the streets and changing signs.
I love the pizza beard party, awaiting the follow-up with Sam tearing the posters down.
Okay, that's we won't reveal too much more.
And then Sam Wilson watching this like, honestly, yeah, he's probably jealous that the White Wolf is getting the better movie now. So, oh well.
Yeah. Well, at least he's got a better opening weekend to his than. But hey, you know what? Speaking of Avengers, John, it was 13 years ago, not today, 13 years ago to yesterday, that the Avengers released in movie theaters. So, and we got the shawarma. Speaking of post-credit scenes, the shawarma post-credit scene. And that was we talked about the other day, 17-year anniversary of Iron Man. 13 years ago, yesterday was the Avengers came out. I mean, it changed the superhero movie genre forever. DC tried to emulate it, failed. Now, you know, we're obviously in a new era where DC's starting over and Marvel, you know, trying to recoup that energy from 13 years ago. But speaking of DC, John, James Gunn was recently joking about how the weird reason David Cornsweet is the right actor to play Superman is Superman is a square and David is a square. He listens to American Songbook like Dean Martin and Cole Porter. That's what he listens to on his iPad. That's weird. But so is Superman. So do you feel like more and more like this is perfect casting? Because literally, like, David Cornsweet, the man in real life, is basically Superman in the movie. Other than the fact that he can't obviously.
I mean, yeah, it works.
Do that in real life, so
it works. So, I mean, he's talked about that before, but it's still funny. It's still cute. Yeah. So,
Jose in the chat now. Caleb also, of course, here. Your headline better not be clickbait, Dan. No, we will get into that. We will talk about it. It's not clickbait. We're getting to the DC stuff. We have some DC stuff in the quickest today, so don't you worry, Jose. But hey, guys, if you are a fan of James Gunn and Zack Snyder, then you've got the perfect movie fix, because Zack Snyder's directorial debut, which is also a movie written by James Gunn, is now on Netflix. That's right, Dawn of the Dead, 2004's Dawn of the Dead, is now on Netflix. It's got a certified fresh score of 77 on Rotten Tomatoes. John, do you care to check this one out again? A classic collaboration between the two gods of DC, I guess, depending on which side of the barometer you fall on.
I mean, well, considering that the directorial debut is fucking crap, I don't know. I don't care. It's just like when I was watching this movie for the first time, I was just like, the whole time I was thinking I could be watching a better version of this movie. And oh yeah, there is a better version of this movie. It's called the original Dawn of the Dead by George Romero, which is a million times fucking better than this piece of shit. So yeah, not really my favorite. Like, it had some cool scenes here and there, but like the cast was generic stereotypes and tropes, not terribly interesting. It was like very empty. It fell flat. It felt more like a ripoff of Dawn of the Dead than an actual remake. And maybe like Ving Rhames, the chick, I don't fucking know her name, and Jake Weber, I think the actor is. They all did okay, but for the most part, this was not a good zombie movie at all.
Yeah. Well, move on to the next thing. It is there on Netflix. Over the weekend, of course, today's Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. If you're watching it on us live, then it's May the 5th. But yesterday, if you want to do your math, since today is Cinco de Mayo, yesterday must have been 4th of May. And of course, that's always known as May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. So we had posts galore, from Grogu to, of course, you had Sam Jackson and Anakin Skywalker right there, Hayden Christensen. May the fourth be with you, John. Did you enjoy Star Wars Day? Did you watch back some of your favorites from back in the day when Star Wars still was making movies?
I just didn't have the time. Like, straight up, I was just so busy. I didn't, not like I really care anyway, but you know, I watched a couple clips here and there that were like, you know, oh, that's nice. But yeah, well, it is technically Revenge of the 5th today, so you know.
I did see that too. I don't know, I didn't grab that for the show.
And then
but
you
yes,
have
today is
I
Revenge of
Am the 7th, so you have that as well. I know there's one for 6 and 8 and 9, so there's a lot of I Am the 7th, so you can do something tomorrow too. So yeah, very cute.
Yeah. Well, in more somber news, Skype has officially shut down after 22 years.
Thank fucking God.
The original video chatting app, software application. Before there were apps, there were applications. You could download exe or DMG files onto your computer, depending on if you had a Windows or a Mac. This was in the works for a while, so it's not a surprise because they basically all the functionality of Skype is now in Microsoft Teams, and they announced that they were going to shut this down a while ago. But you know, as of today, it's officially dead. So
yeah, we don't really
Skype.
know what Cinco de Mayo is either. It's just an excuse to like eat tacos and like just pretend to be Mexican, just like a bunch of people pretend to be Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Yep. Well, moving on to the next quick hit. We got a couple more to go here. They put out this new, you know, behind the scenes featurette of Mission Impossible, John. I thought this was really interesting. What did you think about it? This is basically Tom Cruise talking about how they've got hand signals and stuff, ways of communicating underwater, because there's an entire sequence in the movie where they're literally filming the whole thing underwater for reals, because of course that's how Tom Cruise does things. Maybe
yes, sir.
Nolan should make a movie together. But what were your thoughts on this? Again, this is how they're marketing the movie. They're not showing you the stunt, but they're showing you how they did the stunt.
Very cool. If you're into that, God, his body looks weird. But it just looks like an amalgamation of like. That's where the body horror for Together was inspired by.
Totally.
But yeah, it's cool. You know, I'm excited. I don't need to watch all this extra shit. I'm gonna see the fucking movie anyway, so don't matter to me.
Yeah. Steven in the chat now. Hello, Steven, checking in, and we have Christian is here as well. Hi, Christian. Hello, no. Yeah. Or Caleb, no. Caleb is in the chat. Hello. I already called him out like 5 times. So one more thing to get through before we get to the DC news, and that is the best thing I saw on the internet today. Coach Greg Popovich, or formerly Coach Greg Popovich of the San Antonio Spurs, they did a press conference. You've got his 2 lieutenants right there, Manu Ginobili on his left, or on his right, and then Tim Duncan on his left, to our right. Right there, he makes the announcement. He's like, I am no longer the coach, but I am now El Jefe. And I just thought this was brilliant. I mean, Coach Popovich has had a really rough time with his health over the last couple of years. So they're finally making the transition. You could see that he's not in the best of health, but he's just an absolute icon of like, this is not just a Spurs.
No
this
fucking
is the
clue
NBA.
who this dude is. So congrats for him.
He's the coach. He won, was it 4 or 5 championships with the San Antonio Spurs? This guy defined an entire era of basketball. If you're a fan of the NBA, he's one of, if not the GOAT coach of basketball. Obviously, if you go by the numbers, there's a lot of other options out there. But dude, just the fact that he was, is back on his feet and doing this. The other thing is, he was gonna retire, but like his wife passed away, and this is a similar situation where, like Sir Alex Ferguson, actually no, did his wife? I might be misquoting that. I don't know. I'm gonna get that one wrong, but I know for sure Chris Berman at ESPN, if you guys ever watch ESPN back in the day, his wife passed away when he retired, and then he came back and started doing shows with ESPN again, because his work family is what he went back to. And so there's examples of this, and it's just fantastic to me that the Spurs organization is right there alongside Coach Popovich for the rest of the way, because to somebody who's worked in that organization for decades, this is his family, and they're there to support him. Like, the 2 players there are retired, and they have been retired for a few years, but they're right by his side. And yes, Sir Alex Ferguson's wife also passed away for Manchester United, and and he gave his best years of his life of coaching Man United. So, the club is a part of his family and his life. Cristiano Ronaldo is a big part of his life. So you see this across sports. I just thought this was fun to see. And again, just, it hurts to see that he's struggling the way he is. But he's a brilliant man. And of course, his sense of humor is still there. So he's no longer the coach, but he is El Jefe, Senor Popovich. So welcome as the president of basketball operations for the San Antonio Spurs. I enjoyed that story very, very much. And I just saw that the Knicks and Celtics in the playoffs, their game is going to overtime. So there you go. I'm keeping an eye on that one. I'm a Celtics fan, but hoping for a back-to-back championship. But John, that's the end of the quick hits. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and get in the comments down below if you haven't already. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet, Hosea. Don't you worry. If you are new, hit subscribe, because we do this 5 days a week. And if you're here for the DC news, if you clicked on the thumbnail, then welcome on in, because it's time. It's time. It's DC time. So let's talk about it. It's another episode of DCU Daily, and welcome on in. We have got a ton of news to talk about today. We've got Superman stuff. Yes, we're going to address the trailer hints that James Gunn has been dropping. Did we get an actual timeline for when the trailer's going to drop? We will talk about that. We've got a potential spoiler. I don't know if you want to call it a spoiler, but the would-be story for Sergeant Rock. We've got the Clayface anniversary that James Gunn shared over the weekend, the character Clayface that is, which is getting his own movie coming soon. And we have some updates from Lanterns, as well as a bunch of other stuff, some new Superman merchandise. And we will talk about all of that and so much more. Of course, John, I have to ask you, which of those stories is your favorite? Which is the one that you want to talk about the most?
I'm curious about the Sergeant Rock thing, most definitely, because that's definitely something. So, yeah, that. Let's go.
All right, well, let's go indeed. So let's dive into it. We've got a ton. I collected all of this over the course of the weekend, and it was coming in rapid fire. So Luca Guadagnino's reassessed DC Studios film Sergeant Rock, which we know now is kind of on hold until next summer, or at least next spring, where they're going to get back into pre-production and then hope to film it next summer, John. It was set to star Colin Farrell, and apparently, according to Hollywood Handle, it would have centered on Sergeant Rock's mission to find the Spear of Destiny, the weapon used to pierce Jesus Christ during his crucifixion before the Nazis could get their hands on it. So I guess it would have been an Indiana Jones movie.
So it's
what
Kelly's Heroes meets Indiana Jones. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe this or not. I remember way back when Nando V Movies did a video on back when the Suicide Squad sequel was kind of in limbo, and he's like, this is what they should do. And ironically, the whole thing was like getting the Spear of Destiny. That was like a major part of that. And I know Legends of Tomorrow had a whole season based around the Spear of Destiny. So, I mean, it's a known DC Comics like artifact. Well, I mean, it's artifact here is like in real life, but like in terms of like magical properties in the DC universe, it is, that. Could it have been cool? Sure. I don't know if I fully think this is real or not, but definitely a pretty cool. I mean, because it kind of has like, it brings in the fantastical elements that I would have liked to see, and not, because I would have preferred either way, whether it was like more fantastical war stuff or just a grounded war movie, whatever it was. It would have sounded interesting, and this definitely sounded interesting. I'm curious how Guadagnino would have done that, because he's, again, nothing in his filmography would have shown this at all. So
he's literally making, like you said, this to me sounds straight up like an Indiana Jones movie. So yeah, Nico, hello in the chat, joining in. He's saying the movie's going to be shot in the US. I don't know where it's going to be shot. We didn't hear about that yet, location wise, but I guess that will depend on what the tariff situation looks like. But yeah, I mean, you could consider this a spoiler or maybe not, because they don't tell us exactly how things will play out. They just tell us that, hey, it looks like that was going to be the overall story. So we'll keep that in mind, but let's keep the ball rolling here, guys. LEDZ saying those robots in Superman are just a test for GI Robot. You know what? You might not be that far off the mark. But, we do also have to talk about Lanterns, because it looks like that show is going to hit the mark when it comes out. And Jason Ritter, who's one of the actors on the show, he just shared an update saying that we have shot 4 episodes so far, and we are about to start shooting episodes 3 and 4. You might be wondering, wait, He said we shot 4 episodes. So he continues on to say, we're doing it a little out of order. It's been so much fun, and it's a really well-written, really fun show. Now, the reason why this might be confusing, even to people who might be like, oh, wait, but TV shows kind of used to film like out of order, sure, but not like they would do parts of episode 2 and then parts of episode 6. The way traditionally TV shows used to be shot is when they had like 20 episode seasons, you would have like different teams of directors that would rotate and a crew, and they would do like 4 episodes a season. Then a different crew with the director would do 4 episodes, or like 4 to 6, whatever the number total was. You divide that up, and you would shoot like 1 episode a week or 2 weeks, and then you move on to the next one, to the next one. These are now basically being made like movies. Like they're TV shows. Yes, it's an HBO show, but it's basically shot like a movie. So I'm not surprised that they've shot obviously like the episode 1 and 2 already, it seems like, and then maybe the finale. And James Hawes, we saw he's a movie director too. So he came in and he probably shot his episodes. Like we saw that with James Gunn. He shot the Peacemaker episodes that he was going to film after he finished filming Superman, but then they continued to film, other episodes before he got there. So they shot it out of order, which is seemingly what they're doing here as well, John. Are you surprised by this? And then given that he said that they're done shooting 4 episodes, they're halfway there. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think that's definitely yeah, I mean, that seems like something that has been done many a times before. So I don't know why that's necessarily a huge story, because I feel like that's, they usually film out of order. I thought that that's how TV shows usually did. So I don't know why he's kind of shocked by that, but cool, I guess. But I'm still on the fence whether I'll like this or not, but I do like the cast. I like one of the showrunners, so we'll see how it goes. But again, I'm still kind of on the fence. I want this to be good, so we'll see.
Well, speaking of the cast, Garrett Dillahunt, who's another actor who's on the show, he recently shared a new T-shirt that he's rocking. This new Green Lanterns T-shirt, which quite frankly looks photoshopped, because I can't really tell if that logo is real. Seems like it's almost slapped on there because the way the light's reflecting off of it. But let's just say it's real. It looks like that's pretty much the comic book version of the logo.
Oh yeah, that's fake. That's just it's just an image on the shirt.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess he was just wearing a green shirt, but
I think he was just
more
like
and more
wearing a green shirt. He's just like, throw the Lanterns logo on that shit. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, Elite is like, that's just his heart. There you go. It's bursting out of his chest. But yeah, I mean, hey, Elite Easy's thing. I think the filming style is typical. LOL. Even with like Family Matters filmed like multiple director episodes at once. There you go. So it looks like they are, of course, filming it out of order. So, but they're halfway there. They shot 4 episodes. There's like 8 episodes to be shot. So that's perfect. I mean, like, that's pretty far along. So we have a few more stories before we get on to Superman stuff. Before we dive into the movie of the year, we have to talk about Batman. And Ben Affleck was recently asked by Who Let Us Out Online, which is a podcast, where he was basically being asked, hey, can we see you back as Batman? Of course, this is in light of all the comments he's made about he's not really excited to ever go back to the character for all the reasons that he has outlined, from the suits not being breathable to like the version of his character scared his own son, stuff like that. But he just said that anything is possible, John. So is he just saying that to say it? Or do you think Ben Affleck legit still, if he was asked like, hey, you want to come back and do a cameo as a multiverse Batman, do you think he would say yes?
Yeah, I think he's just like it was kind of like a whatever thing to the wind kind of thing, or just like, sure, yeah, anything can happen. But I don't think he wants to come back. I think he's like pretty much on that, because he's being like insanely hypocritical if
like every week, dude, every other week.
So yeah, it's just I don't know, it's just like, it feels weird to me. It feels weird. So I don't know. It just, because he was like saying this one thing like a couple weeks ago, and then like immediately in another, I don't know.
He seems to change his mind like every other week, because we get a story where he's like, oh, it was terrible, but no, I would love to still come back. Oh no, it was really bad. Oh no, but I'm, anything is possible. So
Pick
we'll
one,
just-
Ben.
just- I don't know.
Fucking pick
But-
one, you bitch. God damn.
Why did you
Fuck.
say that name? That's what it should. That's how he should respond to everything. Is like whenever you get asked about Batman, he's like, "Why'd you say that name?" Somebody just hit him with the meme, or like that's how you should answer the questions. I would love that. That would be perfect. Yeah, Elite Easy. He did not have a good experience, but I mean, it's not like the calamities on set that were going on definitely did not help the fact that he had a drinking problem. They probably only exacerbated it.
Right.
But anywho, moving on to the next thing. Speaking of Batman, on the slightly brighter note, I just hit my microphone. Sorry, guys. Lego Batman showing us around in his crib. I guess, does that mean this is something we can collect, or does this mean that we're getting a Lego Batman 2, John? What are your thoughts?
I hope it's the latter because I fucking love Lego Batman. That was
so
a great
good.
fucking movie.
It's
I don't
a
care what
great
anybody
movie.
says. That was
It's a
honestly,
great
that might
movie.
be my favorite theatrically released Batman movie. Honestly, that and the original Adam West movie, probably my favorites. Because it's just like this, I loved like most things about it. Had some weird pacing issues here and there, a little choppy, but outside of that, fucking great. I hope we get a part 2 because Will Arnett was so fucking good. And I love it. Nobody cares about Lego Batman. Well, clearly they do because it was better received than your Garbo movie there, buddy boy. So, yeah, exactly. Moaz Arts, Lego Batman movie 2, when? So gimme this, you fucking cowards.
Because people are pointing out in the comments on Instagram, like, why else put this out there if you're not planning on, like doing a second freaking movie? Will Arnett would totally love to come back. Jesse Eisenberg has entered the chat. Thank you, Hosea. Moving on to the next thing. Of course, Frank Grillo, he's in the new Superman movie. He's also going to be in Peacemaker Season 2, and he just recently kind of gave us the date. I thought it was August 21st, but according to Frank Grillo, it's August 11th. We will be able to stream John Cena and Frank Grillo's Peacemaker
Maybe,
Season 2.
Post-production is like going faster than they thought.
So they're just moving the date up. I mean,
damn,
that's
look
news.
how like gray and like dark this looks. So dark. You sure you're not a Zack Snyder movie?
Don't come on, man.
It's so gray looking. This looks like it's straight from a Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah, Elite Easy, by the way, good point. Ben Affleck did enjoy his experience on The Flash, despite the movie not turning out as good. But so yeah, maybe he does want to come back. But I mean, hey, the new season described by Frank Grillo: loyalty, love, friendship, and revenge is going to blow our minds, he says. So I'm excited about that. I mean, this is another low-key way of just announcing, oh, it's not August 21st, it's August 11th.
We'll
But
see
John,
how good it is.
That was not the only surprise that I saw on the internet about DC
Yep.
this weekend. Because on Medium, they were talking about how Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 star Will Poulter is in talks to play Adam Strange in DC Studios' developing universe under James Gunn.
From Warlock to Strange.
Isn't that crazy? And apparently he would get his own TV show on Max. Or what do you think, John? This would be wild.
Like,
this would be wild.
Considering how Silver Age-y that Superman is, one of the most Silver Age heroes of all time is Adam Strange. And I would love to see that. I know, again, but here's the thing. Tom King did his comic book series on Adam Strange. So let's pray to God it's not based on that. But, I think I think this would be awesome. I do majorly love Will Poulter. I thought he did good. I thought he did good with what he was given in Guardians 3, even though I didn't really like the character that much, how they did Adam Warlock, but it was one of those things where it was like he was good in it, So I think I think that's that's fine. But like I think he would nail this role. I think he would do great things. I think he would I think he would do great things with this. I would love to see him in the role. I just hope, not based on the Tom King stuff, but he's come a long way to the annoying kid from We're the Millers. So yeah, good for him. And I mean, jumping ship because he's like, I'm probably gonna have to wait another 10 fucking years for a goddamn another appearance from Adam Warlock. So fuck this, I'm out of here. And so, yeah, go to Adam Strange, buddy. I'm curious if it would be animated or live action, whatever it is. I think that would be pretty damn cool, whatever it is. But yeah.
What I will say is Strange Adventures was meant to be a show at one point.
Yes, I do remember that.
If this is, it wasn't gonna be an Adam Strange show, but if that's kind of being repackaged, then I mean, Will Poulter would only be the latest.
It would be so
James
fun.
Gunn
Don't
Guardians
do like
of the Galaxy actor.
That was the thing that Tom King did. He like made it like fucking horror and gritty and shit like that. Don't fucking do that. Just make it fun Silver Age stuff like what Superman is doing. So stick with that and you should be Gucci.
Yeah. Oh man, Rager365 saying, you mean from Narnia 3? Hi Rager, we haven't seen you in the live chat in a while.
Yes.
Well, we got a couple of things from James Gunn here. I mean, actually just the one thing I found it in a couple of different places. But over the weekend, he shared the happy anniversary. Every time there's a new character anniversary, or not a new character, but any character anniversary from DC, James Gunn likes to point them out. And, you know, Clayface celebrated his anniversary over the weekend. The legendary shapeshifter, of course. He's getting his own movie soon. It's going to start production later this year. And it was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane, of course, because it was first debuting in a Batman comic, Detective Comics number 40. John, any thoughts on the character of Clayface, given the focus on the character now? It looks like that movie is going to go into production before Sergeant Rock now, so hopefully we'll get it still at the release date that they've outlined for it next year. And it's the next movie after Supergirl, so we're not that far off from it. It's a little over a year away. What are your thoughts on the character of Clayface and what James Gunn wants to do with him?
I think it's fucking awesome. I think he's definitely an interesting character. Obviously, he didn't start out as the shape-shifting character that we know him as today. He was just kind of generic Phantom of the Opera, essentially, because that's what Bob Kane liked. He liked old like horror movies. That's where he got the idea for Batman, was from the Bat Whispers, the Roland West film, which was a remake of his own movie. So Bill Finger then created the character from that because Bob Kane's a hack. But love Clayface. I'm excited for the movie. I think this showcases, the love for the character here. So yeah, loving Clayface. Hell yeah. Not my favorite Batman villain of all time, but he's damn good.
No, I love Clayface as a character from Batman the Animated Series, and I would love to see where they take him in his own movie. But John, we have to switch gears now because now the rest of the show is all about Superman. And I have to hop off because I had something else scheduled and we kind of ran over our show time. So I'm going to go and take care of that. But John, just to let you know, I'm excited for the timeline that they have in mind now for Superman. The second trailer, that is, when supposedly it's going to come out. I'm not going to give that away because that's for you to talk about. You guys stick around.
Whoopsie-daisies, but that's okay.
But yeah, I'm excited because that if it is true, then that trailer is coming really, really soon, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and Elite Easy is saying Dan has another hot date he has to get to, or hot yoga.
Yeah, it's
He has a date with the bulge, ladies and gents.
Ron with an interesting question. Will it come out this month? Well, we're in the month of May, and I'm going to lean on the side of
May,
yes.
Or is it?
I'm going to lean on the side of yes, but thank you, everybody, for joining in. Stick around because John has got all the Superman scoops for you, and I'll be back tomorrow on the show again. But yeah, I'm excited for the Superman trailer. I'm going to be listening to the show. Just a hint. It has to do with the Knicks and Celtics game. That's why I have to step away. The game just ended, and I got to take care of some stuff. But you guys enjoy the show, and I'll see you tomorrow. But John, take it over.
Superman. Get the fuck out of here, Dan.
All
Get out of here, Dan. Get out. Okay, there we go. Much better. So we are here to talk Superman, and apparently we have a bit of a timeline, as Dan mentioned, in regards to Superman. Well, first, before we get into the big thing in regards to that, we were talking about we mentioned it in a quick hit before, but now we're mentioning it, here, where he was like, he essentially saying more than what we thought of over here. But David was one of the very first auditions that I got. Instantly, it was a relief because he had a playful charm about him that was not evident in Pearl, which is funny because Pearl was like the big reason as to why I thought he would work as the character, which is, I found that to be very interesting. He had a sense of humor that made me go, oh, this might be a really good match. Superman is a square and David is a square. He listens to American Songbook like Dean Martin and Cole Porter. That's what he listens to on his iPad. That's weird, but oh, so Superman. So we're going to just like kind of talk about this a little bit more. But I just, I just like people have been saying this for years that David Corenswet was perfect. And because he kind of looked like Henry Cavill, but now it's just like, oh no, this guy just fucking is Clark Kent. This guy is like this dorky ass motherfucker who's just this gentle giant who just wants to help people. And like, he's a damn fine actor from what we saw in stuff like Pearl. And I know Lady in the Lake is going to come out or has come out already. And I know The Politician was like apparently fantastic. So there was so it came out last year. Lady in the Lake came out last year. My bad. I thought it was like coming out this year for some reason. But that was like a Natalie Portman thing. I know like the famous clip was like when he was at like one of the things was like when he was announced as Superman, they like had this clip go viral where it was like this really great display of acting, and it was him just owning it, but yeah, I think James Gunn is kind of cooking with this. I mean, I think he's been cooking a lot with this. Hello Mort Kana, love to see you. But love for sale, I don't know what that means. Love for sale. But I this is just great. It's great to see. So very nice. Why David Corenswet's perfect. We talked about this many times. He's just like a dork. And honestly, that's great. Henry Cavill was a dork. Perfect. David Corenswet's a dork. Perfect. So, and Brandon Routh kind of looks like a dork. Tyler Hoechlin kind of looks like a dork. Like, they're all dorks. And that's what we want to see from. It's not a bad thing because Clark Kent is a dork. So that's what we kind of want to see from this. And he's like this big dude, and it's just so nice to see. But let's not spend too much time on this. Going on to the next thing. But our boy James Gunn in Svalbard, Norway, when they were obviously filming the stuff with the Fortress of Solitude. But here he is. There's our boy smiling happy with his hair matching the snowy landscape and just out here being cool, literally being cool. So yeah, there he is. There's our boy doing Fortress of Solitude stuff. So yeah. Next thing, Frank Grillo talking more about Superman and Peacemaker. But hold on, before Peacemaker season 2, we have Superman. That's right, July 11th. The Man of Steel is back on the big screen thanks to the maestro James Gunn. That's all I'll say. Oh boy. And explosions, hashtag Rick Flag Sr. and all that. Boom. Perfect. That was awesome. Let's fucking go. Frank Grillo pumping up Superman, because hell yeah. Next up, Sean Gunn. He apparently finally confirms his role as Maxwell Lord in Superman at Northern FanCon, which is interesting. I asked James Gunn recently if I can ever say that I'm in the movie, and he was like, you could say you're kind of in the movie. So I'm kind of in the new Superman. I also, he probably said I asked him, but it's like, it's just so funny. Like, because usually when you have the brackets, it's like that they're replacing something else, so the context makes more sense. But I just love the idea of like Sean Gunn, his own brother, saying, I asked James Gunn. Like, not I asked James, I asked him, I asked my brother. No, I asked James Gunn. Full name. I'm curious what Sean Gunn has to bring. I think he's a pretty damn good actor. I know he hasn't really done a ton of big villain roles like this, but I'm curious to see it. Since like his Guardians role was kind of like a bit pathetic. But I'm curious with what his Maxwell lore will be. I know it's gonna be like mainly Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and Hawkgirl, and they're gonna be allegedly the Justice Gang. So I mean, we know he was confirmed for the movie. Like that was like Sean Gunn is gonna be Maxwell Lord in Superman. So he's like, you can say you're kind of in the movie. So I'm kind of in the new Superman. So like, all right, sure, I'll fucking take it. Like, it's cool with me. Whatever it is, it's definitely very funny. It's just like I asked James Gunn. I don't know. It just makes me giggle. But we're about halfway through here. But but people saying Cole Porter. I don't know who that is. So cool. I know Dean Martin. I don't know Cole Porter. But yeah, Superman is dorky. Yes, you are correct, Ron. Corn Sweat also Team Trunks too. Yes, that's definitely vibes. And he gives Reeve vibes too. Yes. What's up, bruh? Better late than never for me. Enterprising. You've been in the chat though for a while. But his Clark with his llama hair and oversized suit is so great. I wonder if he plays Maxwell Lord like a tech billionaire or if he's too close to Lex in this movie. I think it's going to be a similar but different kind of thing, or they're like both kind of billionaires, but they're billionaires for different reasons. And so I'm curious how it's going to go, but I think it's going to be like similar but different. Similar but different. Where I am Lord. Yeah. What? Following America's Daddy in the role, a tough job. Welcome to the DC. Oh, okay. Gears of War Reloaded announcement for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Let's go. Congrats to all the Gears of War fans. But did he? And Elite Easy asking, did he dye his hair dark? I hope so, with a slightly darker black turtleneck. Are you asking about Corn Sweat or Sean Gunn? Because it definitely looks like Corn Sweat dyed his hair, because that shit looks black in the fucking movie. Pedro Pascal, what are you talking about? What? Randy Marsh is Lord. What? I'm so fucking confused right now. Oh, right. The Pedro Pascal was Maxwell Lord. Right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to forget that movie, Dan. Why do you gotta fucking remind me? It's good, but it can be better. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get rid of the fucking Maxwell Lord jokes. Anyway, so apparently a Superman skin is reportedly coming to Fortnite. So we're gonna see him, whatever fucking Fortnite dances. The new skin is going to be based on the film. The mythic ability turns you into Superman, likely drops around movie release. I had then somebody saying, I hope it's not in a battle pass. How? First day on Earth, buddy. It's going to be 100% in a battle pass, and it's going to be in a battle pass within another battle pass. Boom. Battle passception. Because that's how it is nowadays. Because remember when games used to be like fun, and like once you got the game, you had the game, and then you played it, and then you're like, wow, that was a great game. I miss those days. Anyway, so this was the big fucking rumor that everybody's talking about. The one that fucking Dan fucking pumped up in the beginning. We're finally getting there. Let's fucking go. So here it is. After James Gunn teased that the Superman trailer is coming in an Instagram comment, several insiders claim the trailer will be released in the coming weeks, with some mentioning the week of the 12th to the 16th. And all we got is from Mr. Ego 2003 on Instagram. When will the trailer come out? And from James Gunn, being the famous cock tease he fucking is a little smirking emoji. Yep. Now, whatever it is, I'll play Fortnite again just for this. Why? Ew, it's gross. Fortnite. but yeah, I think I'm willing to believe this can. Here's the thing, not because of the fucking insider shit, because as we all know, we fucking hate scoopers here. But I think it's basically on the ground of it just makes sense for this because it's like like we technically, at least according to James Gunn, we haven't gotten a trailer since December. We got the behind the scenes thing on Superman Day, and then we got the sneak peek. So pretty much James Gunn has been using every loophole to say, well, you guys haven't gotten a trailer since December. So now we are going to get that trailer now. And it makes sense because there was also it lines up with other insider stuff. I know we don't like scoopers here. I know we hate scoopers. Scoopers fucking suck. Scoopers and scalpers. If it ends with an ER, a PER and begins with an S, they probably suck. If your name is like Scooper, I don't know. Like whatever. If your name starts with that, then you suck anyway. Fuck you. But but usually scoopers suck. I understand that, but considering that the information we're receiving, a lot of it lines up with like we're getting the trailer before Final Reckoning and I think Lilo and Stitch. I think we're going to be getting them in front of like Memorial Day stuff. And then we're going to be, there was a trailer for it in front of Thunderbolts. So it seems like they're because my friends have been seeing a bunch of other stuff and they've been getting the trailers for Superman finally after all this time. And, they had the thing in front of Minecraft and fucking $900 million. That's a lot of people going to see Minecraft. So a lot of people are seeing that sneak peek and hopefully that'll get some I will say, like, we've been shitting on Warner Brothers for a long time with the marketing after dropping the ball at the Super Bowl, no pun intended. That was fucking really smart of them to put the Superman sneak peek in front of Minecraft because now Minecraft is on its way to become a $1 billion movie and a lot of fucking people saw that sneak peek. Now whether they cared is beyond the point, but people have seen it, and being aware is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Anyway, so I'm willing to believe this. Now, not because of scoopers, but with the amount of information we have. That's why. And that is the only reason why. So I'd like to think that, yes, we are going to be getting it from the 12th to the 16th, which is exactly, obviously 12th is the Monday, 16th is the Friday, and then the week later is Final Reckoning is coming out, lines up. Then you have Lilo and Stitch coming out either the same weekend or the next weekend. Forget which one. But whatever it is, I think that I think this makes sense, and I would be willing to believe the rumor. I'd like to believe. Also, Elite Easy telling me Cole Porter was a songwriter in the 40s who wrote a ton of standards. Summer and Fallout. That makes sense. Where are the theater kids in your life, John? Well, my sister's a theater kid. I gotta ask her if she knows who Cole Porter is. The only scoopers I like is Scoops on ice cream. Correct, Ron. The scoopers like Jeff Snyder are like scoopers picking up poop because it's all bullshit that they're scooping. Anyway, well, my sources tell me otherwise, bro. Thank you, Caleb. Lilo and Stitch is this month, isn't it? Yes, you are correct. So yeah, it seems like it's gonna be the third week, which is next week. So I'm willing to believe it, considering how much time has gone by. I think it would have been a ballsy move to have it come out the same day as Thunderbolts. I'm just saying, power move, James. Wait, for us non-Americans, when is Memorial Day weekend? It is 26th. 26th of May, so it's the last Monday. I was like, is it gonna no last Monday? That's what I thought, but I was like, what does SO mean? You're talking about significant other? What? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't fucking dox my sister, you fucking asshole. But not only did the Minecrafters care about the Superman teaser, they loved it. Most of the cleanup was sploods, not just popcorn. That's like a Caleb comment. Elite Easy, come on, you're better than that. Anyway, don't dox my sister. Anywho, but yeah, this seems like it's going to be the case. And they were just doing a something announcement for something for Japan, and somebody saying it needs to be sooner than sooner. What the fuck? Why Japan first? Because they're buying into the international market. Fucking make sure that yeah, around there. So, but because the thing is, everybody here knows who Superman is, and there's already divisiveness here. Like, you got the Snyder cultists, you got people that think Superman is boring, people who think there's too many reboots, and we just got a Superman movie, even though it's been 12 years since we got a Superman movie. But, like, people have lived and died in that time. That's a fucked up thought. I apologize. But it's been a while since we've gotten an actual true blue Superman movie. But there are plenty of people that are just like, I refuse to see it. I'm not going to watch this. Superman's boring. Superman didn't exist until Zack Snyder directed him, and he didn't exist until he was played by Henry Cavill. So you have all those assholes. So you have the divisiveness there. So it's like, might as well go into the international market, because especially with China, and probably not, gonna have Superman playing because of bullshittery, because of reasons we talked about before, might as well go into the international market. I know nobody here said, I'm just saying, answering to the guy commenting here, because buy into the supernatural market. So supernatural international market. So yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that works. And, they are doing, and speaking of the international audience, they are doing a Superman promo for Napoli Comic-Con. So getting the Italians in on this bitch. They got the Indians, they got the Japanese, they got the Italians, they got the Brazilians. They're tapping into that market. I think that's smart. I know Superman is one of, if not the most recognizable symbols on planet Earth. But even then, having James Gunn really working into those markets, those people, they're like, yeah, sure, he might be an American hero, but he's a hero that stands for the world because he loves all humans. He just wants to help. He just wants to be a good guy for us. And I think that really makes sense. I think doing that is just kind of brilliant. So, I think cinema employees are lazy. So I think it's really awesome that they're getting it earlier, because it shows the importance of what Superman means to the world and not just America, especially, how America is right now. It's showing that it's not just this one little place. He cares about everywhere. He cares about everyone, but also at the same time doesn't care where you're from. He just cares about you because that's Superman. He loves everybody and wants to be in a world where to get along. So the way he sees it, I just wish you would see how Christopher Reeve was saying in that interview. He literally sees the entire world. He's like, I want you guys to see it how I see it. I just see us. It's just us on this world, and why don't we make the best of it? And that's the things I'm seeing here. So I think that's really great, and I have said this from the beginning. I think that's a great move. So I think tapping into the international market has been a genius move from the marketing. So we'll see. And I like how they even showcase the the LexCorp symbol. It's in Italian. I think that's great. But yeah. Obviously, you could see all the shit on your own, obviously, because you can't hear even if I unmute it, you can't hear it. So, I think that's really awesome to see. So let's go back into the comments, what you guys have been saying. No doxing. I'm not John Popper, American blues singer who doxed people for shit talking him on Twitter. Oh, that's not cool. John Popper, the blues are. Yeah. Fuck you, John Popper. Also, fuck you, Siskel and Ebert, because they doxed Betsy Palmer after they saw Friday the 13th because they hated it so much. So fuck them too. Mortana, woohoo, love being Japanese. Yeah, we love you for being Japanese because Japanese people are cool. Well, not all of them are cool, but a lot of them are cool. But there's bad people in every country. There's bad people in every place, unfortunately, but that's realistic. Marvel fanboys, etc. JG haters like Five Ash, Italiano, and that's how you do marketing correctly. Hosea, doing the gabagool. Anyway, this movie is going to be received better globally than it is in the US. Yeah, I'd believe it. They got the kids. Imagine that a DC film that doesn't make kids shit themselves. It's not like comics are for kids, not alpha bros anyway. Yeah. I've been binge watching Smallville, going through season 3. I'm so sorry. I can't wait to watch this movie with my 4 sons. Yes, you rock. You're a great parent. I forgot if you were a lady or a dude or anything in between, but you're a good parent, Hosea. Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow. I prefer the American way because it's supposed to symbolize what America is supposed to be, not what it is. But even then, Better Tomorrow. As the days go by, especially living here, I can see that. Reeve was ahead of his time. Of course he was. Lex text telling Italians, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Ron, LOL. But yeah, that's great. But we're not quite done yet. James Gunn showing off the inspiration for Krypto in his little Superman shirt. That's fucking adorable. Come on now. And they even have the theme playing in the background. There he is. Thanks, buddy. Because of you, we're getting Krypto on the big screen for the first time. Hell yeah. Let's fucking go. Thanks, buddy. And then you got another dog. But there he is. There's the real version of Krypto, as James Gunn put it. So yeah, this is great. Love to see it. Fuck yeah. You go, Oz. I'm just playing it because we got to get those views up, guys. We got to get those views up, and dogs are going to get us views. So got to keep playing the doggo videos. Got to keep playing them. So hell yeah. Love to see it. But for the very last thing, speaking of Ozu, but they were, oh no, it's not playing. Hold on, I gotta refresh the page. But while that's doing that thing, let's just do that. But yeah, we're gonna be, unfortunately, damn it, the the video is not working, ladies and gents. So let me try to go back into it. But so the last thing is, is Ozu watching, I think the sneak peek or the trailer, and it's so fucking cute. Like, look at this. Hang on. Now it's all queued up, guys. But here he is. He's watching. Look, there he is. He's barking at the screen. He's all excited. There he is. There's his movie version with superpowers. Oh, that's just fucking adorable. Like, he's so excited. Look at how excited he is. And someone's like, can definitely see the resemblance. Cute. Fuck you, Yusef. You suck my dick. Fuck off. So yeah, fuck these guys. All right, fuck all you losers. Anyway, well, look how can you leave bad comments on a video of this adorable dog being adorable? Like Junior 04 and Utachin Guda to staff, you guys are the only ones that are base. The rest of these guys can fucking fuck off. So anyway, so they're saying this is my dog Ozu barking at the screen. Krypto was actually 3D modeled after Ozu's body. And they 3D captured him and essentially turned him into Krypto. We turned him white, and anyway, every time he sees himself come on screen, now he's barking. He tries to murder himself. Yeah, it's fucking adorable. All these people can go fly a kite, as Jeremy Renner would say, because fuck all y'all. You're all losers, not having fun. Get out of here. Anyway, John going Rambo on Snyder cultist be culting. Yes, that is true. Yes, very cute. Yes, we Jose is saying they're a toxic male. Okay, I don't think you're toxic, Jose. I think you're pretty cool, mainly because of that profile picture. But that is about it for today. We had a lot of stuff. Dan had to leave like a bitch. I'm just kidding. But that's it for today, guys. We are, we're here Monday through Friday, so it's just the start of a huge week. Not going to be as big as next week, for at least for Superman fans, because we're going to be eating good. Apparently, next week we're probably going to be getting the trailer. I'd like to believe early middle of the week, if I were to take a guess. But thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, guys, because remember, 13 likes, 30 of you watching. Come on now, 31 of you watching. The haters probably look at sex trafficking as role models. Yeah, no, you're probably right. But thanks for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. We didn't have any comments for today. Maybe tomorrow we'll bring in the comments Q&A session. We're gonna try and build out, get a Discord, get a have like other things like bring back Fancasting Fridays as its own separate thing, maybe tier list Tuesdays, just me just shooting the shit, doing whatever. But we'll get there when we get there. If people are into it, then they're into it. If they're not, then they're not. But yeah, make sure to subscribe so you know when we go live, because hectic schedules and such. But then also make sure to click the bell to help even more. This was our 300th DCU Daily episode, guys. We didn't plan anything big. It just kind of happens like that. Dan left early. Maybe that's excitement for some of you. I don't know. All you losers that don't like Dan, fuck all y'all. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But that's gonna be it. So we'll see you tomorrow for another DCU Daily. So until then, see you later.